Hey, everybody, welcome back to Funniest People Pod. I'm Peter. This is Todd.
Hey, everyone.
Hey, check it out. Today, we have a fantastic episode with Alexis Prigo. Alexis is a Pasadena homegrown comedian, so it's nice to, meet an LA local just like yourself, Todd.
Yeah. And that's where the comparison stops. No, she's hilarious. She's awesome. It's cool to, I feel like a lot of comedians will have on the show or people maybe you've interacted with or maybe someone I've worked with or whatever. It's cool to kind of get a blank slate, really get to know someone's origin story and kind of how they got here. And she's hilarious and really fun to have on the show.
It's tough to make friends as an adult.
It is.
But,
you got to go to improv and see if you get lucky.
Yeah, exactly. Or so, since we're here geographically, we got to mention Third Wheel Podcast Studio right here in the heart of Hollywood. Whatever heart is left in Hollywood, you can record your podcast here. No comedy podcast though, maybe, but just be nice to us. Yeah, check out Third Wheel Podcast Studio, and also we got to mention Bamco, our new sponsor for season 2. They've been killing it. They're providing us with these hats, our hoodies that are for sale on our Instagram. And if your business, if your company needs promotional items, merchandise, go to bamco.net. Bamco.
Check it out. And they're great. And we appreciate their support.
Hey, and since you're here, please enjoy this episode with Alexis. But if you're looking for a little more, you can join us over on Patreon for some exclusive content. But don't go anywhere. Finish washing those dishes, making your bed, going on that hike, dealing with the kids, and enjoy our chat today with Alexis Prigo. How many parking tickets have you got, in your life?
Oh, so many.
Yeah.
So many.
In the thousands of dollars?
No.
Okay.
Probably a couple hundred.
You fought them.
Yeah. My dad's a retired lawyer, so he used to take them to work.
And
that's probably back in the day when you could do that. Probably not so much anymore.
Take them to work?
Yeah, he would take them to work and do something with them.
Shred them.
Yeah.
Burn them?
Smoke them.
Wow. What a connection to have.
Fuck the police.
I know. Holy cow. Hey, folks, welcome back to Funniest People Pod. I'm Peter here with Alexis Prigo. Alexis, how are you?
I'm good.
Awesome.
Where do I look?
You look where,
There's your single.
We've got 3
So
cameras.
give it
There's a
that,
camera
and then
there.
There's a 2-shot
double.
there. And then this one's Peter's.
And unless you want to, sit on the table here, this one's just me. If that's okay.
Yeah, no, I like this.
And unless you need all the cameras.
I
on
might. I need content.
A California resident, comedian, funny person. What was it like growing up in, Pasadena, IE, with, Hollywood so close by?
It was a lot of white people. Growing up, I went to private schools, and then I moved to Long Beach in high school and saw my first minority. But I'm also Mexican, so
sure. So you didn't look in the mirror much, yeah.
No, yeah. It was good. The IE was great. It's good. It's a good place to raise family.
And IE and Pasadena.
Yeah, my dad was in Pasadena, mom in the IE. But no, it was a good place to be raised.
Nice. And then so your dad was a lawyer.
Yeah, he's a retired public defender
Holy
for LA
shit.
County.
Doing God's work.
Really though.
He should be a comedian.
He was going to. That's how I got into it.
Really?
Yeah. He used to try and do it.
No way.
Mm-hmm.
And what was
Can
your
he
mom's
come
job?
on next episode?
Yeah, exactly.
I need to know this guy's story.
Don't even. He'll do it.
What did your mom do growing up?
A housewife.
That's great. Oh my gosh,
We
amazing.
need to find a better name for that. I always feel so weird saying housewife.
Yeah.
What do people say now?
Unhoused.
Homeless whore.
Yeah. Can you say? Are you allowed to? Yeah, I don't know. Let's not get into the words we can or can't say. But both of those professions.
Yeah.
Housewife until we find something better, and then public defender. Very cool. It seemed like 2 very grounded, down to earth people. And then,
Sorry, I need to know how many people went to prison when he was spending time on fixing your tickets instead of focusing on their case.
He defended Snoop Dogg before he was big.
Your dad
murder?
defended
The murder case?
I remember there was a murder case. I don't remember.
Wow.
If that
Your
was
dad
that
defended
or-
Snoop Dogg before he was Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
What?
I know. And we used to go in and I would meet his clients. They would have bring your daughter to work day and I'd meet all of his clients. Just shake these people's hands. But my dad was he didn't have he wasn't biased towards anybody. So
That's nice.
Yeah, you
Well,
can't
that's
be
good.
in that job.
That's what you want.
can't.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So then your dad's like, hey, I'm going to do stand-up comedy. And you're like, I'm going to be a comedian.
Well, I did acting my whole life and singing and dancing, so I was going that route. He knew from an early age that's what I was going to do, was something entertainment.
Yeah. Did he put you in, were you put into those situations like, choir or, stage performing when you were young?
Always. Theater. I danced since I was like 3. And then I did, what did I do? I was doing acting, and I didn't realize how hard it was to break in.
To acting?
Yeah, I just kind of thought like, I think I'm funny. I'll get famous very easily. And then I got here and I was like, what is happening?
Yeah. You're like, I drove
so
40
bad.
minutes.
I know. And then I was like, I guess I'll just do improv.
Oh.
And I was horrible at improv. But
where did you do it at?
Groundlings.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, they're like, we think you're funny, but you don't get any of the rules. And I was like, there's rules? So they didn't like get me to the next level.
Yeah.
They were like, you got to just take a class over. But someone in my class did stand up, and he was like, you should try stand up. My dad's like, this is your moment, and then bought me a workshop, like one of those workshops.
How nice.
Yeah.
And did you learn a lot from that? Because there's a lot to be said about stand-up workshops in general.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah. If I didn't do it, I would talk shit about it. But it helped.
Really?
Yeah. It helps you kind of like Bobby Oliver.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. She's like a feminist, like fuck men. So I kind of grew up like fuck men comics.
Yeah.
And then I met some, and I'm like, they're not that bad.
That's very generous of you to
some
say.
are horrible,
Right,
but
yeah,
for the
that's
most
true.
part, it was pretty good. And she's a great coach. So it kind of just took off.
What kind of thing do you, because I'm not really a comic, what kind of things do you learn? Is it more about coming up with your material or stage presence or just kind of everything?
Yeah, it was all of it. I remember she was like, whatever you do, never run the light.
Oh.
And that was like a big thing back in the day. Like
Yeah.
running
What does
the
that
light
mean?
was like once they give you your time, and if you don't get off the stage,
Oh.
they're like, people will never ask you back.
Oh, wow.
And I don't think that's that true.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's just under the umbrella of respect.
Yeah.
If you're a comic and you're supposed to do 15 minutes and you end up doing 25 minutes, that is disrespectful to everybody.
True.
Right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't
don't
say
even know.
like, if you're doing 10 minutes, you got to finish at 9:59.
Yeah.
Like you're not being rated on how accurate you are. You're rated on how funny you are.
Yeah. I grew up like thinking like I would only do like 5 minutes. Like I was so scared to run the light and just nervous. But no, it was good. They taught you how to like structure a joke, and they did a whole like showcase at the end.
Oh, fun.
So
Yeah.
that was cool.
What sort of material were you doing then, and like kind of what are you focused on now?
Oh my gosh, it's so funny because you can remember like all your first jokes. I did a joke about how like my dad, when he grew up, he was really into like activism and school and history and like what my generation represents now. And I was like, we're just the generation of brunch, when like brunch was really popular. It like killed, and I'm like, what?
Brunch is really popular.
Remember
There are people
when
having
brunch was
brunch right now.
popular?
Yeah. Remember
Like-
when brunch was popular? Brunch is what? Dude, well, yeah. I have this bit.
I think we're just too old to go to brunch. Not,
brunch was-
Peter and I.
That was an era, yeah, when brunch was the thing. Like, ooh,
Yeah,
brunch.
like
When
a
you could
Tuesday
afford that
brunch.
middle meal.
Yeah.
That's like when they would do the Bloody Marys with all the shit in it.
Yeah.
I think that's another idea of millennials invented everything.
They really did. Can you tell
But they didn't.
now?
Like, it already existed. We just made it
did.
popular. Like,
We
like
made it
on
better.
on the millennial gravestone, it's gonna read, "We popularized food trucks, avocados, Kim Kardashian."
So true.
That's it.
Whenever I see like a big corporation change something and make it more convenient, I'm like, millennials are now in that office.
Oh, that's smart.
Interesting.
You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
Interesting.
I need to find that still. Everyone's like a certain comic. I think I do a lot about relationships, but I'm trying to get out of that.
Oh my God, I love my boyfriend so much. Like sometimes I look at him and I just think, thank you for choosing me to be your mom. What an honor it has been.
Fuck yeah. There's something about breaking up with a dude that makes you feel so confident and motivated. Like right when I broke up with him, I was like, ooh, I'm gonna sell bracelets on Etsy. That same night, I made homemade enchiladas. I was like, this is who I am as a person. He was holding me back. I love breakups, though, because every breakup I've gone through, I've lost 5 pounds. Like, internally, I'm a mess. Externally, I model now. Yeah. Like, if I don't see a rib cage, I didn't love you that much.
Yeah, there's so much material with dating, but I'm so tired of it. Like, I'm so tired of dating.
Yeah.
And talking
And,
about
and,
it.
and talking about it, because there's so much material.
Right.
You know? And I think when I focus on writing that, I focus on dating in real life.
Oh.
And now I'm trying to not focus on it.
Have you had any success on the apps?
No.
I'm not on the apps.
No, they're so bad.
I've never been on the apps, yeah.
And there's like so many theories about it. I don't think it's because like someone looks at you and they're like, no way. I think everyone's going through their own shit. And I think there's like maybe 4 really hot guys on the apps who just take it all home. You know what I mean?
That's
And
the whole
other guys-
80-20 thing.
Yeah.
What's the 80-20 thing?
That 80% of women are attracted to 20% of men,
Yes.
which is why there's a
interesting.
lot of guys at home playing video games or recording podcasts.
Yeah, there's just like regular average guys here today. I'm just kidding.
Hey, I'm married. I found one
how
on
did
Tinder,
you-
actually.
On Tinder?
It's a
Dang.
very long story.
What are your
Wow.
stories like that? And
Yeah.
you're like, do we go back on them? What year?
I think it's luck.
That we met, it would have been like 8 or 9 years ago, but
That's why.
it's
It
a
wasn't
long,
ruined.
very detailed, specific story. It wasn't some woman who lived, 5 blocks away. She's from Ecuador, and it was like,
Ecuador?
yeah. So you got to import.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that beautiful?
Oh, it's so sweet. So what's been going on with you in the apps?
I'm not on the apps at all.
Okay, when did you stop?
I was never on.
Oh.
Yeah, I was never on.
I
I'm just
feel
like,
stupid.
I'm just like, nah, I'm not
No,
doing that.
he's the outlier. Being on the apps is totally normal.
I
Real
don't
life,
like it. Yeah.
that's the best.
I'm an outgoing person. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're pretty outgoing yourself.
Yeah, I just don't go out, and now I'm going out.
What you were just on the East Coast, right?
Yeah.
Performing. What's the East Coast vibe like compared to out here? And do you love it or what?
East Coast is great.
Yeah.
Let's see. I was in Boston. Boston's wonderful because everyone's pretty smart.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. So like, not that my jokes are like so intelligent that people don't get them in LA,
Right.
but it's nice because I feel like they respect a good joke. You know, I'm not like talking about like tits and penises.
Sure. Yeah. Hey.
I mean,
Well,
one of
they
my
hate
jokes
this
is-
podcast.
Yeah. That you went over Todd's whole act there. Yeah, exactly. From top to bottom. And yeah, and so the crowds, are the crowds more of like a trained theater live performance crowd?
Yeah, like they know, like they come and they see a show and they don't heckle. At least the places I was performing.
Sure.
So I mean, I did a charity event, so I mean, it wasn't going to be like crazy
Oh, nice.
people.
For what?
Yeah, if you get heckled at a charity event, that's like
I
next
know.
level.
It was for some youth charity center.
Okay.
But it was in a really wealthy part of Boston.
Oh, fun.
So it was like very odd because it's for children or youth who are like poverty, but in like the richest part of Boston.
So what's the material you do for a show like that?
The same. Like I did a bunch of dating stuff.
Okay.
Everyone was like pretty rich in the audience, so that was pretty funny because they were uncomfortable with a lot of the comics.
Oh, really?
That's my favorite part of comedy. Like you'll see people in like, scarves and stuff and you're like, they're not going to like any of this.
Yeah, you're a little too dressed up and a little too hoity-toity,
Yeah.
taking yourself a little too serious.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, at what point did you, because, that's like the thing to say. It's like you take the work serious, but you don't take yourself serious.
Yeah.
At what point through, doing stand-up did you start to adopt that thought?
Probably last week.
Okay.
I literally just got rid of my stage fright like a month ago.
Oh, congrats.
So thanks. I mean, it'll come back, but like
Sure.
for the most part.
It's a battle.
Yeah,
Right? Yeah.
it's the weirdest thing. I think I get it when I feel like I'm not prepared.
Mm.
And then I also get it when it's disguised as stage fright, but I think I'm just excited to get on stage and show everyone stuff.
That's the point where a lot of people abandon the art form.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I'm nervous of public speaking. I'm nervous of this feeling. But, if you have, like, you tell me how you struggle with it or how you handle it or, live with it. But, like, if you have like an athlete's mentality and you decide to say, all right, this is an energy within me. If I'm going to use this and project it out of me, then it's going to work to my benefit. When you feel those butterflies, it's probably because you're doing something that has stakes or you're doing something that's important. And so, how do you deal with those feelings or those emotions going up?
I first of all, I just try and like listen to it. Before I would like fake it, I'd be like, no, you're fine,
Yeah.
which is worse because then you're now fighting with yourself. I realize that I don't get stage fright at the most important shows because my body is like, you deserve this. Like, you've worked for this moment.
Yeah.
So like, this is where you're supposed to be. So it goes away for that. I get it mainly when I try to make everything perfect. Where you're like, if this doesn't go right, or if I don't say this right. But no, I just listen to my body. I have this autoimmune disease called Sjogren's, and it makes your mouth and your eyes dry.
Oh.
And it flares up when I'm like under stress or just excited. And
Sure.
so like, I didn't know I had this autoimmune disease until recently. So I would do shows and I just like might have cotton mouth. And I just thought that was just like, stage fright.
Right. You thought everyone was dealing with this.
Yeah, I was like, is everyone's lips just sticking to their teeth all the
You're like,
time?
guys, do you have like a different chapstick?
It's
like
crazy.
a comedian
and my
chapstick?
eyes are burning. But now I'm like, oh, this is just how you prepare. Like my mouth gets dry, eyes get dry, showtime.
And you don't take medication for it or anything?
I do.
Oh, you do?
Yeah,
Okay.
I take a hydrochloroquine. It's what Trump said was killed COVID.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you never got COVID. Congrats.
Yeah, no, I did.
How do you, in the face of that, how do you continue to say, over, the past few years and whatnot, like, I'm going to keep doing this?
Comedy?
Yeah.
I think there's been signs. Like with anything, if you try and quit or leave for too long, something pulls you back. I would say in my case, the times where I'm like, I just need, because you go so hard for so long. So I've been doing it 11 years, just like going hard. And so one week I was like, I'm just going to take a break because I'm so tired. And I was on autopilot. I like wasn't thinking of any good jokes.
Yeah.
And then that week, like a bunch of cool shit happened. So
What?
I got the Adam Carolla podcast.
Oh, neat.
And got to open for some big comics.
Cool.
That I love.
That's
So,
exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's what happens is like when you try and step back, it's like, or when you just let the universe do its thing, it kind of works out.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, Instagram has ruined women. It has ruined us. Yeah. Because I watch these over-the-top proposals, the most romantic things I've ever seen in the world. So now I think my proposal will be just as good. Like we were at the aquarium last weekend and we're at that really tall tank that goes all the way to the ceiling. And a school of fish swam by. And I was like, oh my God, if you're gonna spell, marry me. Like, I deserve this shit. It's crazy when you're in love. You pick out baby names when you're not pregnant. And men pick them out too, I found out. My boyfriend said if we ever have a girl, he would name her either Cadence, Cassidy, or Meadow. And I was like, these are all great names if our daughter is a fucking pony. If our daughter can trot, you can name her that.
So you're not doing relationship stuff, but what are you working on now?
I'm cycling it out. So it's still there.
Okay.
And actually, all the jokes sound better because I just don't do them as much anymore. So like when I do them, they just sound a little bit, I don't know, more casual and clean.
Oh, okay.
Right now.
Like real life stories about like terrible dates?
Yeah, it's so good.
And app
There's
dates,
so many just weird people out there.
And they all love you.
Have you ever had someone been like, why are you telling that story about me?
I made sure when I tell the jokes, when I'm with the people, I let them know, hey, this is just the joke I'm doing about that one time. And if they don't respect that, it's not like I'm shitting on them.
Right.
But if they can't respect the art form, then probably not the right person.
Yeah, that's a fascinating conversation to find yourself in.
Yeah, there's been times where they're like, I don't know about this.
Or like, that's not my recollection of it. It's like,
Yeah.
of course you don't see yourself that way. You don't have any understanding of yourself at all.
Yeah, I feel like the people I've written jokes about, like, love it. like too much.
Like even like one date and then never see them again, guys?
No, like I dated this guy named Matt, who is my best friend now.
Shout out to Matt. Subscribe to us on Patreon, Matt.
He's an Egyptian.
Okay, cool.
And I
Oh,
wrote
hot.
a joke about him being Egyptian. And now my TikTok following is like 90% Egyptian people. And he's like obsessed with it. He'll like send me voice memos and like, I told everyone about the joke and now they're following you. Like, it's like he's so proud to be Egyptian. And he's so proud that joke's about him and it got like some likes.
I was dating an Egyptian man. Have you guys seen Egyptian people? They're so beautiful. Oh my God. He asked me, he was like, have you ever dated an Egyptian man? I said, I didn't even know you guys were over here. I thought it was just Armenians. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I thought Egyptians were mythical humans. Only found in movies. They're like, did you see a 6 foot tall Egyptian man run past here 10 minutes ago? I'd be like, was he in his costume?
Okay, I did a show years ago, and this porn star who's fantastic put it on. Her name's Alexis Fox.
Oh, cool.
She's so great, and she put it on, and she brought one of her other friends too, who was in the industry, did a set, and they brought their friends that were in the industry. So there was a bunch of like really hot porn stars in the front row, and then a bunch of just single men. A bunch of like really weird men that came by themselves. So like people who were watching the porn came to the show.
Right.
So it was a very weird crowd.
Well, porn addicts like to laugh too.
Yeah,
do,
what a
yeah.
crazy experience for them, because they're like, I'm usually enjoying this person privately,
Yeah.
but now I'm by myself in a room full of other people enjoying this or not enjoying
I
this,
feel
or
like being a porn star would be probably the most unsafe.
fun. No, oh, what?
They're so rich, but like you can't go anywhere. Like if you say I'm going to
sure.
be here and you're a legit porn star, you probably get a lot of creeps.
Yeah, you can't check in anywhere on Yelp.
No.
Well,
Oh my God, someone makes fun of me that I still use Yelp. Is that not what we're doing?
No.
What do we do,
You're
Google?
so millennial. Yeah.
Yeah, I
it's-
always go on Yelp. I'm like, let's look at the reviews. Funniest story, I have a razor company I just started, and called Tomboy. And I was promoting it at a Helium in Portland, Oregon, and I was doing some shows before, like off the club scene.
Yeah.
And no one was laughing at the shaving jokes, and my brother who lives there was like, everyone here is hairy. So like
in Portland,
everyone has,
Portland.
everyone has power pits.
they call it Power Pit Portland.
Power Pit Portland. Yeah.
Dude, I was on the way to the club and I looked at this girl hopping on her bike at like a stoplight, and it was thick.
The legs.
The legs were thick, you could see it come out. And
Yeah.
I get it. I would do it if I felt comfortable doing it.
Sure, and you don't.
No.
Yeah,
I'm so hairy right now, actually, so maybe I do. But
Sure, hey,
but
whatever.
I'm not like, raising my arm.
Right, yeah, I don't.
Like, don't ask me to do that this podcast.
Yeah, don't ask any questions.
No.
Don't raise your hand for any questions. And so the Tomboy Razor.
So the Tomboy Razor started because because I was in a long-term relationship, I got out, and then
Congratulations.
Thank you. I mean, it wasn't bad.
Okay.
We were meant for each other,
Okay.
but I had to shave my whole body, all these dates,
Oh.
like everything. Yeah, 'cause I wasn't gonna do laser.
How optimistic of you.
I know. I was really going hard. Now I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I'm wearing pants, there's no way. But yeah, I had shaved my whole body, and then women's razors suck. So I would buy the Gillette men's razors.
Why do I keep hearing that? Like women's razors suck. I've not used one.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Because they're all flimsy. They're always made out of like recycled plants or something. Something stupid.
Like they're supposed to be like vegan or like
Yeah,
cutesy.
They're like sustainable. And I'm like, I don't want a razor. No one cares anymore about sustainable stuff. At least I don't.
About
Because-
recycling or sustainable substances.
Yeah, like I'll recycle, but is that real? Is recycling real?
Excellent point. I think we're past it.
I think we're so past it.
I think it's over. I don't know what planet is there left to save.
Yeah, and no one knows what goes on. Like I've never, Anyway, I recycle and I take
In recycling?
exactly.
Okay.
And they have this thing called pink tax where they tax more on women's products.
Right.
So I went to Miami with my friends like a year and a half ago, and we all had a Gillette razor. And I'm like, that's so crazy. I was like, what a cool idea if we had like a heavy duty razor for women, but marketed towards us.
Oh.
And then I did some research and saw that like the top, like Procter and Gamble, who put out Venus and Gillette, they own both of them. So there's no way they're going to put a gender neutral razor out in the market.
Not everything has to be gendered.
No.
It just has to work. Like,
Exactly.
Like, since we're talking about it, if you don't give it much thought, you're like, oh yeah, women's razor, men's razor. Maybe that makes sense. But since we're talking about it, it sounds as absurd as like, this will scoop ice cream for men and this ice cream scooper is just for women.
It's
like,
true.
that's so silly.
And you are already saying that men and women have different hair, which might be true. But
is it?
I know some hairy bitches.
Yeah.
Like my hair on your hair on your face is probably the same as like my pubes.
Yeah, sure.
We're going to edit
We
that
got
out.
the clip.
No,
we got the clip.
We're gonna
stand
stop the
on this
podcast.
table. Let's compare. Let's measure them. Yeah, right. Yeah. Is it and it's the same length?
Right now? Let me go behind the
Hey,
screen.
you're here selling the razor.
That's right. This
okay?
is the craziest promo for the razors.
But then you also do a show called Brownish that
yeah.
features, correct me if I'm wrong, mostly Latino performers.
Yeah, I got not dipped in. That's like probably the wrong word to use for
Dipped in. I got dipped in. Ew. I mean,
They
if you're shaving
the
for
Mexicans dip me in the comedy scene.
if you're shaving for every first date, you're getting dipped in a lot.
So you know how we were talking about how everyone's like, finds their place. They're like a crowd work comic or
yeah.
like, I don't know, like you have Tourette's and you're like a Tourette's comic.
Right.
Like,
Sure. Yeah. You're the dip comic.
Yeah,
You get
like
dipped.
I make a joke in my head that like I always remember I'm Mexican because the Laugh Factory will book me for like Mexican comedy night.
Right.
But Brownish was one of those shows, and it's such a good show. It's just anybody who's like brownish and who's a
Peter.
comic.
Peter's
And-
available.
I don't know if I'm Puerto Rican enough for you, but
No,
yeah,
you
I'll
are.
do it. Okay,
yeah,
great.
because some people where I'm like, really?
Wepa.
But it's a great show. They had it at the Laugh Factory, but now Eric Rivera is doing it at this place in downtown LA called Upstairs.
Great, yeah, new comedy club here. That's great. I hope
Yeah.
they succeed and they do well. How often are you dipping in doing that show?
They just brought it back.
Great.
But before, I also do shows with Mario Lopez. He decided to like dip into the comedy scene, and it's been fantastic. He's the nicest person.
I love Slater.
Yeah, he wanted to just promote Hispanic comics.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
give them
that's
a
nice.
shot. So he put on this whole thing called Way Out Loud, and it's a great show. It's always sold out. It's like they pack that place.
Cool.
And it's rowdy.
Nice.
Like that show makes me shake.
Really?
Yeah.
Where is
just
it? Where is it?
The Laugh Factory.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I think they did, all Laugh Factory. But no, it's great. He's phenomenal.
Well, you are just fantastic. Thanks for being our guest
Thank
today.
you.
The last thing we're going to do is, what we do at the end of every podcast, which is if you think there's someone you want to refer to us that we should feature on the show, who should it be?
Can't be your dad.
Can't be Mario Lopez.
Oh my gosh. Do you guys know Kazim Rahman?
I don't think so.
He's great.
Okay,
He's
cool.
so fan. And he lives nearby. He's so funny. Yeah.
Great. Have y'all worked together or
Yeah,
how'd
I
you
like
meet?
kind of came up with him, and
Oh,
he's been
nice.
like a close friend of mine.
Oh, well, spectacular.
Always like texting back and forth, like, you good? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Well, before we get out of here, tell people where they can find you on the internet and social media.
I am on TikTok and Instagram at Alexis Prigo, and then what else? Oh, YouTube. Alexis Prigo.
Well, dude, Alexis, thanks so much for joining us
Thanks for
today.
having me.
Thanks for watching, and make sure you like, share, subscribe, and check out Alexis in real life, and
Oh, we
check
don't
her.
wave. That's so
You can wave.
embarrassing.
What's that,
I've
waving?
I've done podcasts before.
Do
Keep
the
your
wave.
keep your
This
pits
is more of a
down.
TV show.
Keep your
Yeah,
pit.
keep
Yeah,
the
do
pits
the
down.
princess wave.
is so
You know
bad.
what? We're gonna do it together. We're gonna princess wave out of here like we're on a parade. Thanks so much for watching. This has been Funniest People You've Never Heard of. Alexis was our guest today. Check out Alexis in the real world wherever she's performing. Take care. Bye. Funniest People You've Never Heard of is a production of Toby or Not Toby Productions. Executive producer Todd Fields, producer and host Peter Murphy. Studio space provided by Third Wheel. Theme song written and performed by Justin Fields. Sponsored by Bamco, more than just merch. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and find us on Patreon for exclusive content.